Trust, family, reliability. 3 words that just this past summer led Nivea to cut ties with Rihanna. Their new CEO publicly acknowledged and explained that he couldn't see the compatibility between her and those core brand values. Prior to this, Darren Ravel noted this problem when he said, the right question to ask is this particular athlete marketable for this company? Today, the data being used in the current endorsement selection process is limited, it's untimely, has no direct correlation to a brand's key attributes or objectives. Good afternoon. I'm Derek Boyle, founder of Brand Match Score. 3 months ago, we officially launched a solution to this problem, a software-based market research tool that rates the compatibility between brands and endorsers. Unlike other rating tools, Brand Match Score produces endorser-specific results customized to each individual brand in real time. A client submits their endorsement criteria through an online account, and surveys are administered to their target consumers. Our platform is simultaneously pulling statistical data on each endorser. Our system takes all this information, and 3 components, collectively measured, produce each brand match score. 1, brand alignment, quantifies the relationship of mutual attributes through the eyes of the brand's consumer. 2, brand building capabilities, identifies and endorses potential influence by measuring both career performance and marketability. 3, budget alignment, evaluates fees and responsibilities by maximizing campaign value and creating negotiation leverage. Decision makers today are realizing that the industry norm, stuck in the past, it needs improving. Brand Match Score is providing the ultimate due diligence, eliminating subjectivity, and mitigating risk. We are forcing marketers to change the way they select and hire athletes and celebrities. Any questions?
How do you do this? How do you achieve this? You know, I see your dashboard, but how do you achieve that? What's the credibility behind this?
Everything is done when we say real time. The difference between a lot of the competitors we have, the data is static. It could be a year old. We've gotten a lot of that feedback this weekend. What we're using is surveys are going out in real time. When a client goes through our system and submits their endorsement criteria in the study, the surveys are being administered through the University of Massachusetts McCormick Center for Sport Research. They're a third-party partner of ours, so it's complete transparency. We can get as targeted as any brand wants. And when that information is being pulled in, the exact target consumer, the people that are gonna buy that product, are answering the questions of like, if you want this guy to be good looking, the only people answering that question are the people that are gonna buy your product. On the other side, the statistical data is actually all the criteria from, if it's a baseball player, their success in the field, their success throughout their career. We use eminence, impact, and legacy, which is their playing time, the impact they have on a team, and their awards, Hall of Fame, MVPs. All that data is determining somebody's influence coupled with the marketability.
So the endorsement criteria is specific to each customer?
Each brand. There's no one score that is the same for your company, company. Brett Favre, Wrangler, he has a certain score for that, a different same score for another company.
And what's the revenue model, very quickly?
Revenue model is agency. We have agency platforms where they can subscribe to it and use it on a regular basis.
So it's subscription-based?
Subscription-based, yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
So you weren't bothering me staying up there. How you guys doing? Anthony Pompliano, CEO of Digiforce. Digiforce is an actionable fan intelligence platform. We monitor social data, location-based, inside of stadiums. There's thousands of social media monitoring tools that are out there. Each one of these focuses on keywords and hashtags. We ultimately think that they're fundamentally flawed. Our focus is on location, location, location. So we focus on the location first, and then we look at the content. Every data mine knows you can't make the best decision if you don't have all the data. Teams today are using tools that are leaving data out. The guy who tweets and says the bathroom line is long at the stadium, a team never gets that data. We get it. How do we do this? It's called identity stitching. We've assigned artificial GPS to every single piece of social content inside of a stadium by linking the identities of multiple social platforms for one user. We attach the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, all the way across 6 platforms to have one identity for that one user and then monitor it. Here's a case study that we did at a Justin Bieber concert to show the power of the technology. We were able to show a 16 to 18-year-old girl walking through the parking lot, the actual flow that she took to get into the stadium. If you look there in the middle where there's a big congregation, she actually stood in line. The pieces of content associated there were the line is long, the security guard is crazy, and why would anybody use a credit card in a line? What we were able to do is give social media context and relevance inside of stadiums. And 4 weeks ago, we publicly launched. In those 4 weeks, we've had the opportunity to partner with some amazing partners and have some great deals already secured. This past week, we secured 2 more that unfortunately we're not able to put up there yet. Any questions?
So what does the deal look like, even though you can't divulge who it's with?
So we got 3 partners, teams, brands, and media. Media, we aggregate the data, give them better analytics on what are the fans saying. We can aggregate photos from the fans, give that, you'll be seeing those come up March Madness. So actually the fan photos being shown. So the fans, they want to know was my photo selected or not. They go, it drives revenue because of the additional views. Teams better understand the fans. We're basically answering questions they've stopped asking. The biggest one being, who's in my stadium? I was just listening to the Pittsburgh Pirates say that they literally have a fan wheel that they're spinning at the stadium, and to spin the wheel to win a prize, you have to fill out a piece of paper. I could save that guy a lot of time and money by just utilizing our platform.
An example of your case study when you're following around the teenage girl at the Justin Bieber concert, how do you think about privacy? Is this opt-in?
For sure, it's user-generated and it's on a public platform. So if the settings are set to private, we won't get it. We struggle with Facebook data because of the privacy settings. Twitter accounts that are private, we don't monitor those. So it's all public information and user-generated.
Do you have your own proprietary technology?
We do. So the identity stitching, and then also I've got a background in military intelligence that it contributed to some of it as well. And I can tell you, we also do real-time engagement, so we can actually reach out to these fans on a one-to-one basis from the team's Twitter account, Foursquare, whatever it is, while they're at the stadium. And we've got an 83% click-through rate going on that, and an extremely high engagement rate. So when we reach out, the fans are engaging back. They want to talk to the teams in real time while they're sitting in the stands.
Tell us about your team.
There's 4 of us, myself. I've got 1 other business intelligence guy and 2 developers. The 1 developer, the last 4 years, he spent writing tracking software for UAVs, and the other's been operating in the geospatial industry for the last 15 years.
And are you selling this to teams or brands?
Both. Teams, brands, and the media, all 3. We've got deals with all 3 as well.
How big can this business be?
We look at it as possibly being as close to an $800 million business in the sense of the teams and the media. The brands are the piece that's hard to measure because the size of the brand depends on their propensity and their appetite for something like this.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Hi everybody, this is Serdar. I'm the captain of Santio team. We are a university startup established in Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm an ex-basketball player, coach, and columnist. But we started with the soccer, and we developed an optical tracking system for soccer and an analytics platform on top of that. In soccer, the culture of data in soccer is pretty old. During the 50s, there is a manually collected data. But there are some challenges about this data. It's not accurate. There's no insight about that, and anyway, it's costly to collect. So, in order to address this problem, we built a very simple, portable, easy to set up optical tracking system that you put on the stadium. It's run on a laptop, all the computer vision algorithms, and it delivers locate X and Y coordinates of all the objects on the field to the cloud, where our analytics engine is running, and delivers predictive analytics and data to the coach on the field, real time. These are some of the data that we feed, some physical and technical data, and coaches are basing their decisions on this data. This is our big picture, so we are on the data collection side of the game and also on the analytics part. And so far, we are involved with all major players in Turkey, from the broadcaster perspective, from the national team perspective, and the top clubs in the country. And we want to build, collect the data, we are collecting the data, and find some B2C models to deliver through the broadcaster's second screen application to the fans of soccer. Any question?
Yeah, why couldn't you just, with sensors getting smaller, just slip it in their shorts or something like that and get this kind of data at a much cheaper way, much cheaper price point?
There are two answers for that. First of all, the chips or any equipment, any active equipment on the jerseys or on the shoes are not allowed in the FIFA game. So in the official game, the players cannot carry anything. And secondly, the data accuracy is not as good as the optical sensors. Our best sensor is our eyes. It's like the same thing. Optical tracking is the best technology to identify the location of the players on the pitch.
And this says camera-based player tracking analytics. Is it specifically, do you have to come out of pocket for the cameras set up on a game-by-game basis, or are you outsourcing that?
So these cameras are set up on game-by-game basis, and it could be used on the home game, away game, on the practice field, anywhere. It's portable, it's the club's property.
But do you have to pay for those cameras as part of the initial startup cost, that capital expenditure?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's part of the solution. So, and these are off-the-shelf standard IP cameras.
Do you have customers today?
Yes, so far Turkish national team and 4 professional teams from the Division 1. So Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are probably the only known clubs, and the other 2 are smaller teams.
How much do you think an average team would pay for this?
They are paying about 100K per season.
100K per season.
What do you think about the competition in this space? Are there any other companies out there that worry you that can compete using, a similar approach?
There are some competitions. The manual data collection companies are existing for years on the market, but I think they are looking for solutions for real-time data. And there are some video editing tools that delivers more detailed data. And recently, like Nike, Adidas, they developed some equipment for the shoes. They are good for self-quantification, but as far as we see, they don't have a solution for team perspective on the tactical level.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just advice next time. Advice next time when you pitch it, I'd say you've got a customer up front, you've got a paying customer, and use that as an example.
Welcome to Sports TradeX. My name is Ben Lipson, and Sports TradeX is the only site that brings the adrenaline of the stock market to the world of sports. Users buy and sell teams and players to predict the outcome of real-world events and fantasy performances. The market is active in real time, including during the game, and users compete with a virtual currency balance to increase their account as high as possible and therefore win cash prizes. This is a snapshot from a one-day NBA fantasy contest that we held last week. As you can see, we pre-bundled players onto fantasy teams where at the end of the day of games, the winning team was worth $100 per share and all others were ultimately worth $0. Until that time, users can trade in real time at user-generated prices, and the market prices update live, as do the fantasy stats. For example, European Union traded last at $38 and had combined for 21 fantasy points. Just to understand the size of the fantasy market, the Fantasy Sports Trade Association estimates it at about $2.24 billion. And Sports TradeX is different than any of our competitors because of the real-time engagement from the live marketplace. 55% of our users report operating in a 2-screen environment, and it's customizable to any sport, any event, any duration, with the focus on short-term events and immediate gratification for the user. Additionally, we generate predictive information from prices and price movements, such as what's the value of a team and their odds to win, what's the impact of an injury, and even the significance of individual plays. So here's another snapshot of that same market I described just a few minutes later. And you can see that thanks to a basket and an assist for European Union, their price increased from $38 to $40. This graph shows their price movement over the entire duration of that contest. And had you bought them early on, when they actually won this event at $25, that would have been a great trade. You probably would have won some cash prizes. Our revenue model includes entry fees for certain contests where permitted. A lot of stuff is free to play, and some of the fantasy games have small entry fees. Unique advertising opportunities that come from a highly targeted, highly engaged audience. And we feel we should win this pitch because it's an innovative, fun idea for our users. We've gotten traction of 1,000+ users prior to this event in just 3 months of operation. And if we do win, our free March Madness event will increase the cash prizes by $1,000. So check out the fun, check out our booth, www.sportstradex.com. Any questions?
Regulatory, gambling. How do you get around gambling? You know,
everything we're doing is legal. Where we do charge an entry fee, it's because it's been determined that it's a skill-based game. And otherwise, the real-world events are free to play.
Ben, what's most defensible about this model?
Most defensible?
Yeah, why can't someone replicate this tomorrow?
Well, we have a strong team, and I have a background as a commodities trader. We're also there's nothing out there like this right now. It crosses over a bunch of different sports games, and we're the first out there, and we're looking now at some media partnership opportunities, and we've also been approached by investors to be able to increase our marketing campaign.
well done.
Thank you.
Hi there. Welcome. I'm Ted. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Game Changer Media. And I believe the biggest untapped opportunity in all of sports is at the amateur level. It's an enormous market, incredible passion, and tons of money being spent every year. However, despite the size of the market and that passion and the funds being spent, there's no comprehensive digital platform for all amateur teams. There's no equivalent of ESPN.com or CBS Sports at the amateur level. It's not for lack of effort. A lot of people have tried, and there's a lot of problems and a lot of challenges with this market, but I think the core problem is basically a massive data collection problem, and that is that the data that's collected during an amateur game is done still on paper and pencil. That's where Game Changer comes in. So Game Changer does two things. First, we have a set of mobile and web scorekeeping tools for the coaching staff of a team. Incredibly simple to use, powerful, and most important, free. Second, we take the data that's being collected during the game, turn it into live, compelling, animated content that includes what we call a game stream, live animation of the game, the plays, stats, dozens, if not hundreds of stats for every player, mobile and web. We work with a company called Narrative Science, and within seconds at the end of every single game, we turn it into a full newspaper article just from that data. And we wrote, I think, over 1.5 million stories last year. So we've designed a business model optimized for team acquisition and recurring revenue. So we give all of those tools to the coach for free, and then we give some content for free to parents and fans, and they subscribe for premium content like live play-by-play, stats, spray charts, and those stories I referenced. So we've made some pretty interesting traction. Last year we had 65,000 teams score every single pitch of every single baseball or softball game on the product. We scored over 1.2 million games, and we've actually collected to this date what I think and I believe is the largest stat collection in history. We actually measure how many stats we've collected versus comparing it to the total histories of all major professional sports, and we're up over 3 right now, more than 3 times the entire history of major professional sports. So we work with some great partners, those brands you might recognize: Little League Baseball, AAU, Perfect Game, Cal Ripken Baseball. And I think we're going to win in this very challenging market for 4 reasons. Number 1, we're building elegant solutions to real problems that real people have. Number 2, we're committed to engineering excellence. Our products really work. They're simple yet powerful. Number 3, a scalable business model that's working and driving enormous margins. And third, we have a world-class team of 30 people, about 22 designers and engineers, and then a team of clever marketers as well. We're actually adding to that team, so if you're interested, go to gc.io/careers.
Ted, how much revenue are you doing today?
So that's last year in the millions, and it'll be 3x that this year.
Millions of dollars?
Correct.
And what constituency is the largest percentage of that? You'd mentioned parents, you'd mentioned administrators. Who?
Yeah, so
Just
actually everything's free for the scorekeeper of the team. So it's parents, fans, scouts, anyone that's upgrading to follow that premium content. We have a couple other secondary revenue streams as well around advertising and syndication of the content, but 90% of it at this point is people paying either $8 a month or $40 a year.
Right, and what's the largest specific segment within that first bucket? What is that?
It's parents trying to get access to their
parents.
kids' content. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State the obvious, 4 minutes is quick.
Okay.
Millions of dollars of revenue.
Hi there. I'm David. I'm the founder of Stles. We're a startup here based in Boston, about a year old. We've done sports gaming for about a year, and we're collecting all that stats, and we decided to make mobile apps that make stats fun again. We've got 2 products out in the App Store that I'll talk about. One's called Fanboat, the other one's called Ahoy, and it's all about engaging the casual fan, the people that are very busy, that don't have time to watch, unfortunately, SportsCenter for 3 hours, or read the newspaper call through the box score. And we want to really try to bring that natural language experience and fun back to gaming, or to your mobile apps to connect. Because really stats are a way through which people connect to the moment and the experience. And that casual fan wants to have that feeling of connecting to the sport, just culling down that little moment of stat information that makes them give them a good feeling about, hey, I'm caught up on the game today. So we've got 2 products, Fanboat and Ahoy. They've been in the App Store for about 3 weeks. Fanboat's in the top 500 in the US. Ahoy is in the top 700. They launched, Ahoy launched on Monday. Fanboat, oh, you switched the slides on me, Tyler. Fanboat is our social box score. It's a way of dissecting the box score into feats and accomplishments that are categorized so that you're kept up to date quickly and without a lot of effort on the most important things that go on during the day. Think of it as Pandora for stats. You follow teams and you get feats and accomplishments suggested to you just as the game ends. So you wake up in the next morning, you get to see everything that's happened. Sorry. Ahoy is the best way to tweet from your seat. You're at the game. I've got 2 things in my hand right now. I can't tweet anything, but I've got my thumb. So you go down, you keep your favorite players, your teams. You can tweet very quickly by picking the player or the game. You got all the hashtags for you sorted out, as well as real fun catchphrases for the sports that let you do that. The way we're going to revolutionize the game, or the industry, is really, the smartphone industry is revolutionizing the sports industry. 12 and 10% of all smartphone users are checking sports information at least 3 times a day. You guys are probably doing it all the time, like I do. But revolutions happen because people want things to be better. When we want to build fun, casual gaming, casual apps for the casual fan to make things better in the way they enjoy sports again. So again, our two apps, Fanboat and Ahoy, they're in the App Store. Thanks very much.
So do you have revenue yet?
Revenue through the app sales. So I mean, right now, like I said, it's been 3 weeks. The revenue's not enough to pay for the conference, but we're getting there.
How many of you guys working on this?
It's myself and about a graphic designer and one other guy, so there's about a team of 3.
3 of them.
We're small, but we're growing. We've only been at this for 3 months. Ahoy, like I said, just launched on Monday night.
So congratulations about being a repeat offender here at the conference.
I
'Cause
know.
You were here last year.
I remember you.
And so
I didn't win.
Tell me, what did you learn? What did you learn between last year and this year?
Something very. I was doing in-game predictive games. Sports fans are. I was trying to do a noble experiment. Sports fans want tangible rewards. They want money. They want prizes. So this is trying to go the mobile app route to give a new experience to people, because that's what everybody's working on now.
Thank you.
Good job. What did you say? I missed it.
Hi, my name's Teddy. I'm from J+, and our motto is that we make coaching easy so that you can focus on winning. Please sign up for our services, email us our code and your username, and we'll upgrade your account immediately so you can test us out. So we mainly have 2 products that we would like to share. Coach's Clipboard Pro. We've digitized the classical coaching clipboard and added a lot of extra functions. You can instantly save and load up your playbook. The plays are displayed in animation format. This is really good for the kids. We support over 20 sports right now. We're adding new ones all the time. And it's also available almost across all platforms, iPad, iPhone, Mac, Android, BlackBerry, Windows. So now that you've made your play, you need to share it. The plays that you made are auto-synced throughout the various platforms, and you can generate a web link that you can send to the rest of your coaching team or your players. Everybody who you share with can then view your play on their browser and see exactly what you want them to do for the game. What if you're not good at making plays? No problem. You can come onto Coachbase and download plays that are submitted by other coaches. Coachbase is a community for coaches. You can download plays from others, share your own plays, learn, discuss, teach each other. We launched Coachbase Beta about 3 months ago, and we've attained 5,000 users already. Our customers range from the co-rec level to the college level to professional and national teams as well. Our team is actually based out of Hong Kong, and we understand that our market is here, so we're also looking for partners, people who are willing to work with us to bring our product to the rest of the world. Any questions?
How do you get this in the hands of coaches? What's the most effective path, do you think?
So what we've noticed is that the coaching community is actually really tight-knit. We really stress the quality of our product, and when one coach realizes that our product is working for him, he will tell all his friends. And so far, we've basically built our customer base through word of mouth, but we would really like to look for organizations who maybe have connections with the various schools or leagues who can put us in touch with these coaches.
Do you have an example of that virality, where you got one coach and then that coach told other coaches that generated 20 new customers for you?
Yeah, quite a few. Like, for example, we have the Italian national under-18 futsal coach who is using our product, and then after he registered, we noticed a lot more other users from Italy as well, so we're going to assume that he basically spread the word for us.
How big can this thing really be? I mean, coaches aren't known to have a lot of money.
Actually, our product is very cheap. Our goal was to bring a rather professional experience to the average Joe. The clipboard app that you saw cost $9. the web service is free to share 3 plays, and then at the top end, it's about $100 for unlimited storage. So we think it's a pretty fair price that we can bring to all the coaches.
$100 unlimited storage use
For a year.
For a year.
Yes. So I guess it would depend on the level of coaching you're at. If you're at a co-rec league, you can use us for free, no problem.
I mean, I guess the perception is that might be a market to get into, but where does it lead you to? That doesn't seem like a really big market.
So after that, we also are willing to do customization packages for more professional teams. Maybe if they want us to upload their playbook for them too and have any specific features, we're also willing to do this.
Okay. You said 18 sports?
20 right now, 40 probably by the end of the year.
20 sports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm with Team Interval, and we are everything between. Okay, wrong slide, that's all right. So who are we? We are an internal communication and time management platform directed towards collegiate athletics. So what that means is, if I'm a coach, currently what they're doing is they're communicating back and forth with one another, sending the same message multiple times, whether it's through text message, email, phone. They're trying to send the same message. They don't really know who's getting it, how fast they're getting it. So what we've done with our communication system is build something that they know that has a read receipt, they can track it, and also a scheduling platform in addition to that. So taking a look at the numbers, looking at a student athlete at any level within the NCAA, they put in nearly 70 hours a week. So time management communication is going to make them more efficient. So we built this tool to make them more effective off the field so they can be more efficient on the field. And one of the other statistics that really popped up to us is 59.8. That's the percentage of all D1 athletes that are looking for somehow to find more time to focus on their studies. Again, communications and time management is going to allow that for them. So what we did is we created a pilot program based around our core competencies, and we were able to get 3 universities to agree to allow us to be our beta testers. So those included the University of Evansville, University of Southern Indiana, and then Harper College, which is a junior college down in Chicago. So we've been working with them for a few months. We've been obtaining feedback. We've been making a few pivots here and there. And from everything with our beta program, we were able to develop our actual system now that we're ready to sell the market. So upon logging in, this is what you would initially see. So some of the key features within our system. It includes team chat. Team chat is where you can send a message that you want the rest of the team to see. So whether it's an article, to a link to an article that you want to share, whether it's a picture, a video, an inspirational quote, get the guys hyped up. You can send it there, people can like, you can comment, and you get that feedback. Second, the messaging, again, accountability is huge in the NCAA, so everything comes with a read receipt, so you can do a one-to-one direct message, or you can also customize your group. So say I'm a coach, I want to talk to other coaches, I want to talk to only my offensive players, my running backs, my quarterbacks. I can customize that group and also know that they're seeing it. Master scheduling system within our platform, so we've digitized how they bring in their class schedules and their practice schedules. We've put them together, so now they can see the open pockets of time of when people are available. Again, going back to breaking that down by position, you can see again, without picking a random day and time in the air, you can see when your quarterbacks are available to meet. Last, we do document sharing, so whether it's a travel itinerary, whether it's player analysis, whatever it may be, you can upload it, you can send it to everyone, or customize who you want to see that, and also track to see who took the time to upload it and did their homework. We are Team Interval.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Can you just describe how team chat,
Yeah.
I've missed it. How is that different than just a text platform or an email platform? Or
Team chat? So team chat is
Facebook.
Team chat, yeah, well, essentially, it's a way for people to, in a private manner, to kind of get everyone excited within the system. So whether it's an athletic director, a coach, or a student athlete, something to share between each other to just get them excited about what's going on and share information, general information.
Isn't that what Google Plus would do?
Google Plus?
Yeah, why wouldn't this be different than Wouldn't Google Plus do this for nothing?
Well, Google Plus doesn't have the features that we're looking to implement, such as injury reporting, social media monitoring. Those are things, this is our core competency as far as time management and communications, but then we'll develop into that.
I guess same question on the functionality of, you described document sharing, different than Dropbox or?
Well, the thing that's different than the Dropbox is that there's the accountability attached to it. So if I'm a coach, I can see exactly who's uploaded that, who's done their homework, and again, it's taking all the features in together and putting it into one platform.
Okay. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
My name is Vasu Kulkarni. I'm the CEO of a company called Crossover. We've been around for a couple of years. Our initial business was basically taking film from sports teams around the country and breaking it down for data analytics. So we work with about 1,000 teams around the country right now. We chop up their video, and so we have a database of about 8 to 10 million clips cut up at the moment. So we said, well, what else can we do with this content to make it more interesting, both to teams as well as fans? And we looked at some research done into perceptual learning and perceptual abilities, right? So this is the idea that if you're an athlete and you spend thousands of your hours training on the court, your brain starts to work in a very different manner. You start to see things that normal people don't see. Wayne Gretzky talks about skating to the puck. Michael Jordan talks about the fact that he can watch any game and tell you at 90% accuracy whether a shot's going in or not. And we said, well, that's going to be a really fun game for fans to play. And that's what we built. So if you guys look at the screen, you'll see a video is going to play. And I want you to watch that. It's a fast break. And in your minds, figure out who's going to take that shot. It went by real quick. I'll show you the options once again so you know who had the ball. And you're trying to figure out within about 3 seconds who's going to end up taking the shot on this play. Right? Everyone get an answer in your mind, and we'll watch that clip over. So you see it goes out to the corner. Based on where the defense was and based on who your personnel are, you now know who's going to take that shot. So the idea behind Crossover SIQ, which is sports IQ, is that we're creating a metric around your sports intelligence or your IQ. And we basically give you questions that make you wonder what's going to happen next, and we determine whether or not you can predict that correctly, how quickly you can predict it, as well as how tough the question was. And as a combination of all those three, we give you a score. With that score, you can talk trash with your friends. You can compare yourself to Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. The example I always give is, as a 5'9" Indian kid, I always wondered what would happen if I went one-on-one against LeBron, and presumably he would destroy me because of athleticism. But we're able to create a level playing field where LeBron is a 5'9" Indian kid too, and hey, I may just beat him at this game. So there's two versions of the app. The first one's a consumer version where you download the app for free. You can play it. And then if you want to play with your favorite team or your favorite player, so if you're a Kentucky fan and you want to play with Kentucky content, you'll pay us a little bit of money, upgrade to a content pack. Obviously, the NCAA is going to take their cut, Apple's going to take their cut, and we keep the rest of it. And then there's a professional version that a couple of NBA teams have started testing already for making player personnel decisions. So they took this out to NCAA players, gave them the test, and they're using this as one more metric on which to make their draft decisions. That's it.
How big can you make this business?
Right.
So there's about 3 billion sports fans worldwide. About 14% of them have smartphones, and that number is obviously growing year on year. If you think about other games in the training space, so things like Lumosity, which has about 35 million users, and then you look at freaking Angry Birds, right? We're somewhere in the middle. We're competing with time that people spend playing any sort of training game versus just sitting on the subway in New York City playing Angry Birds. We're right in the middle, and I actually think that our game adds a little bit more flair than just Angry Birds and shooting things. There's actual ability here that's being tested.
How many users do you have today?
We haven't launched the app yet. This was just a demo that we brought out here.
Can you describe the licensing arrangement with the NCAA?
Yeah, so there's different rights holders depending on the conferences. So we have to work with multiple rights holders. Generally, it's a revenue share agreement where they're giving us access to their library. So we already have a ton of content that we've cut up because of our existing business, but there's the guys like Kentucky, we obviously don't own their content, so we have to license it from them. There's a rev share agreement, and we pay them a portion of every upgrade that a consumer makes.
Has any conference or team said no, absolutely?
That said no?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
Did he say someone said yes?
Greg Jacobs, Sports Board, founder, returning contestant. I was here last year, came in second place. So, hello everybody. What we're doing is mobile player assessment, and what that really consists of is taking a business process that exists in all levels of sports today, which is premised on clipboards and Excel spreadsheets, and putting in a structured data model that is running in the cloud, that has a mobile front end, that's running on either the iPad or the iPhone. We have built 10 different sports that address 17 different sports programs in high school and college level. The sports are sort of circling the cloud there on the screen. Football, baseball, basketball, ice hockey, soccer, volleyball, lacrosse, list goes on. Mostly team sports. One individual sport is tennis. Size of the market we're addressing is about $4.2 billion. And the way you get to that is by looking at the US market, which is where we're focused first, and then expanding globally. We're leveraging cloud and iPad computing, and we're planning to exit in 36 months. Last year, I couldn't say we had a customer. This year, I can say we have 130 customers, mostly D1 schools. We focused on college first because college is where you get credibility in the marketplace, where you can go down to high school and club because they all want to emulate college, and you can go up to pro because they trust college. Mike Krzyzewski and Duke men's basketball is probably our most notorious customer, using in-game assessment capabilities that the product has. It was after we got Duke that we got some very interesting coverage from Mashable, ESPN, and NBC Sports. And we had some really big wins. This has gone from a grassroots call on a very specific sport in a very specific college sales model to now an enterprise software model. I've spent 20 years in enterprise software doing something similar to this, but in the transportation vertical. Now we're doing this in sports. And what happened that was probably the most novel in 2012 is that the University of Maryland became our first athletic department enterprise buy. They bought 50 subscriptions for their entire athletic department, and now we are calling every AD in the country. So we're taking this from selling hundreds of dollars worth of subscriptions to tens of thousands of dollars worth of subscriptions. Duke men's basketball obviously was nice. US Tennis Association became a customer in December. They're actually rolling this product into the whole US player development program for tennis across the US. We had about $100,000 worth of subscriptions. Not revenue, because this subscription revenue is not, it's cash flow, right? You recognize the revenue every month. But we had $100,000 worth of subscriptions in our first 10 months of selling the product. And we have a huge pipeline. Can't even see that. Oh, that's what that was. Yeah, so what we're doing is actually rolling what we call player assessment. So pro teams use this to scout, college teams use it to recruit, high school and club teams use it for tryouts and player evals. At the end of the day, though, what we're doing is building a platform onto which you can actually market this, not into just those schools for those activities. You can also market it for season, in-game use. You can also market it to camps. The camp business in the US alone is $6 billion. I better leave one question. So, 10 seconds left, sorry.
So your revenue is $100,000 a month now?
No, we generated $100,000 worth of subscriptions in 2012.
In 2012, okay.
First 10 months. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
How's it going? I'm Evan Owens, founder of Pogo Seat. Pogo Seat's a mobile app for live event seat upgrades. One of our guiding philosophies is that premium seats should never sit empty. Yet, all over the world, there are live events where premium seats sit empty every game. It's a $1 billion market for seat upgrades globally. Obviously, look at the pro sports in America, NCAA D1, the international college market. So we've built a mobile app. It's both a native app and a web view. The advantage of the web view is we can embed in other native apps, which is what we've done with the Golden State Warriors and Detroit Pistons, for example. We also have a venue portal, and this is a cloud-based system teams can access to look at all their data around seat upgrades, such as how much money they made, where fans upgraded from and to, and the like. We have our own proprietary mapping technology, so we can take a digital image of any stadium and design it like this in about an hour, and it's automated. And on your iPhone, this really pops, and it gives you a great visual reference of where exactly you're upgrading to. We also have our own pricing algorithm. I'm sure you're all familiar with dynamic pricing. Obviously, the price of seat upgrades also changes throughout the game based on how much time is left, the score of the game, whether players are injured, what the weather's like. Another benefit of Pogo Seat is we're integrated with some of the primary ticketing companies. We're partnered with Ticketmaster and Live Nation, and they have a system called Arctics, and we're integrated with that. And it makes Pogo Seat a really turnkey solution for teams that use Arctics. Obviously, our first big job is getting teams and venues signed up, but you also have to get the word out for fans. How do people know they can upgrade? The teams do a great job for us. They can blast out social media, through tweets, through Facebook posts. They can do email newsletters. They can do in-game announcements on the Jumbotron, LEDs. You can get push notifications when you check into a venue. Hey, hop on Pogo Seat and upgrade your seat. We'll skip that, so I have a lot of time. Like I said, we're live with the Warriors, Pistons, and Stanford, and we got about 10 more teams signing up in the next month. Our current tractions, we're having about 2% of fans add a game on the app. We're averaging double-digit upgrades. The average price for Warriors upgrades has been about $36. Stanford's $10. They just do a flat price for upgrades. If you've been to Maples Arena, it's a little smaller compared to other stadiums. We average 20% repeat customers. Some of our big partners, like I said, Ticketmaster Live Nation, Cisco, Sprint, B3 Connect, they make apps for a lot of sports teams, and we just embed our app within that. Myself, I was a sailboat captain in a previous life, worked on Wall Street. Dan Simon's our CTO. He built one of the largest games on Facebook. He built some software for the Department of Defense, and his younger brother, Mace, our head designer. We got some early employees from some of the iconic Silicon Valley companies like Salesforce, HP, Netflix. Board of Advisors, Barry Kahns, the CEO of QQ. Worldwide West is a power broker, makes a lot of intros for us. Jim Benedetto is the former CTO of MySpace, and Nelson Chang comes from Amazon and Google. And I'll leave the rest for questions.
Are ticket holders allowed to pogo out of their seats and make them available during game?
Yeah, it's a great question. So right now, fans just upgrade to unsold seats, and some teams want the ability of when you upgrade your old seat and go back in the inventory pool. That's up to each team to decide, but that capability is there. As long as you're integrated with the primary ticketing company, which we are in Ticketmaster's case.
Mm-hmm. Do customers have visibility into the average upgrade price, or is that something you're...
No, that's just on our end. Yeah, they see one price on that map screen I showed you.
So as a fan, I love this concept.
Great.
And I bring my kids. But if I was an owner, would I worry a little bit about people deliberately not buying certain premium seats because they can show up and then figure out a way into them cheaper?
Absolutely. It's a huge concern. You don't want to cannibalize premium seats. And that's why we have that pricing algorithm. So you can get credit for the face value of the original seat. You can get a discount based off time. But if you're going to go to a game and upgrade right away, you might as well have bought that premium seat to start with, yeah. Good question, though. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
During the season, after the season, people tweet, Instagram, their experiences and their emotions. As we collect this collective wisdom from the crowd, what do we do with it? During the NFL Combine, we collected 1.5 billion impressions through Zoom, over 135,000 unique items that carried what our influencer Z-point system ranks based on context of the conversation. So what we have developed is an influencer engagement platform. Hi, my name is Ali Reza Manicheri. I'm CEO of Zoom.com. For the past 3 years, me and my team have worked on government analytics, building various applications for the Department of State, Department of Defense, and now these individuals, designers, mathematicians, human factors engineers, have come together to develop Zoom. Our product captures real-time user insight and ranks it right out of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and brings it in real time to provide insight. The potential is huge. Forrester and Gartner, plus or minus 2% if they agree, is a $5 billion market. We already have predictability in terms of our revenue. In 10 months since launching this, we're already close to $350,000, and our goal for this year is approximately $2 million. And our pricing model is very flexible. The cupcake store around the corner could use this, and so could large global brands. So what is an influencer engagement platform's characteristic? It's how you identify, inspire, and influence others with various types of action. So what you see is a screenshot of the dashboard. Within the dashboard, you create your feeds based on the collection of search terms that you want to pull from these various platforms that are ranked, that allows you to mash them up into polls to create more metadata and collect more metadata, as well as create social mashups for various types of user engagement. What you see up there is what's happening during the season. Great conversation. But after the season is the challenge for brands. The conversation starts dying down. But then we see a spike on February 4th. And what you look into is the Z-point system identifies the influencers instantly of that there was a tweet by somebody that had 2 followers that Reggie Bush retweeted that he is a leader, he's worth the money, keep him here. And there was this huge thing. The next tweet was related to that conversation is the Super Bowl starts today. And yes, Devon Best has got Miley Cyrus on his iPod. So what do you do with these second screens? We have a social mashup engine. As you're collecting this information, you're able to create these second screen phenomena. What you see up there is a prototype being worked with a NFL team that we're taking various types of content of their favorite players and creating polls. What you see at the bottom is also pictures that people are tweeting about the new jersey they bought. And we're bringing that experience to create now the social ad sync. One of the first ways that you could truly measure how social media is driving revenue based on your advertisement. It's happening on the couch, it's happening in the stadium, and yes, it could happen in the urinal as well. You got 30 seconds of undivided attention to push real, natural, collective wisdom to people to influence them to potentially buy another beer. Thank you.
I heard you say you're collecting search terms to drive the metadata. Who dictates which search terms, or is it?
It's the individuals that are behind the system. So it could be publicists, public relations, digital strategists. It could be someone that's tracking the brand.
They're picking that, inserting that into the system.
That's right.
And how long have you been in business?
Zoom has been in business for 10 months now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's that.
Okay, so it wouldn't be an episode of PTI without the big finish. Like I said earlier, we'll tabulate the judges' scores, and the winner of the Blitz competition will be announced at 5 o'clock in the Grand Ballroom as part of our Alpha Award ceremony. With that being said, I'd like to thank again our judges, all 12 of our trade show companies, and you, the audience, for attending the second annual Trade Show Blitz competition. Thank you.